Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. Unpack Project 9G.
It does touch on critical factors for success. Funding, obviously, is huge for something this size.
Naturally.
And collaboration, getting artists, academics, political leaders, community groups, everyone working together. That's key.
And the politics of it all.
Exactly. Navigating political sensitivities around national identity and governance will be crucial.
Okay, let's dig a bit more into that foundation, the play, 9G SOA. You mentioned it has 3 parts and a recurring theme.
Yes, it's split into 6G, 7G, and 8G. Each part narrated by a different character, but all building the story of Nigeria aiming for superpower status.
And the theme.
The central motif is the symbol of authority. It keeps coming back. It represents the responsibilities, the power, but also the difficulties of leadership, especially for the leaders in the play, the itinerants.
Like a constant reminder of the weight of power.
Exactly, the burdens and complexities involved.
And the actual story. What's the plot? What kind of challenges does this Niger kingdom face?
Well, the play follows Niger Kingdom, which used to be a genera, trying to become a superpower, eventually a world power. But it's facing these major threats, described as 9 rogue ninja beastly forces.
Okay, RNBF.
Yes, RNBF. And they're trying to destabilize the kingdom. So this group called the Prime Niger Ninjas Council.
Yeah.
The P-Inc includes elite fighters, the Prime Niger Ninjas, PNNs, who are also called Prime Naija Custodians, PNC. They basically take over from the Emperor to fight these RNBF.
So a change in leadership is part of the story.
A big part. It leads to over 30 different Prime Niger Ninjas governments succeeding each other. The main conflict is finding and destroying the source of these RNBF to secure their path to becoming a superpower. So it's full of conflict, leadership changes, and this big mission to overcome threats.
Sounds very symbolic of real-world struggles.
Yeah.
How does the play actually start?
It opens at a key moment. The Emperor is speaking to both the Prime Niger Ninjas and the general population, the fellow itinerants.
Was the message.
He announces the founding of the colony of Niger Kingdom, Igenera. He talks about its huge potential and stresses that unity, faith, and strength are absolutely critical to becoming a global power.
And these prime Niger ninjas and custodians, what are their specific roles in fighting these rogue forces?
The Prime Niger Ninjas are the top fighters, basically. Exceptional skills, leading the charge against the RNBF. They're the strategists, the main combatants.
And the custodians.
The Prime Niger Custodians are described as having this deep connection to nature, using elemental magic in battle.
Elemental magic.
Yeah, manipulating elements, even becoming visible sometimes. Their powers are apparently crucial in turning the tide, but it also emphasizes that the regular fellow Niger Ninjas, guided by the PNs and representing the people, all work together to defeat the threats and reclaim these symbolic scepters.
So it's a team effort, despite the special powers. The synopsis mentions a pretty complex fight against these 9 RNBF. Can you break down that struggle a bit more?
Sure. The main action revolves around reestablishing Niger Kingdom Agenera to achieve this world power goal. It tracks the problems that start internally with the Emperor's initial system, which leads to the Prime Niger Ninjas Council taking over.
Right.
Both the leaders and the citizens have to deal with these 9 main RNBF. They have names like Rupicotron, Bloodbale, Lectism. They're constant threats.
And the custodians play a big role here, too.
Yes. The Prime Niger Custodians step in, sometimes preventing what could be a revolution, and take power themselves. The kingdom keeps getting attacked by the RNBF, leading to the first PNNG Prime Niger Ninjas government, and then more leadership changes as different custodians take charge.
And the ultimate goal is finding the source of the problem.
Exactly. Finding and destroying the source of the RNBF to secure the scepter source and 9 key scepters. These include places like Treasure Base Area, Pearl of Tourism. Even Project 9G itself is called a scepter.
Interesting.
Apparently, only the Emperor and 6 Empresses know the original source of the RNBF. So defeating these forces, which seems almost impossible, is presented as the only way for the kingdom, for Niger and Agenera, to survive and develop.
These are certainly some unique names and titles. The document also mentions dramatic personas, how the characters were developed creatively.
Yeah, it's quite clever. They use Nigerian state names, even state slogans, as the basis for character names and traits.
Like Nabrama from Anambra.
Exactly, and Arabs from rivers. It creates this immediate link for a Nigerian audience, even within the fantasy setting of Niger Kingdom.
Grounding the fantasy in something familiar.
Right, and the document notes how using Niger Kingdom, Ejanira, and Neroy Gabtek repeatedly reinforces this connection to Nigerian identity. It's a strategic way to tell an imaginative story that still resonates nationally.
And we see that pattern in the list of characters, the prime Niger custodians and fellow Ijinerans.
Yes, custodians like Erebers, Nabrama, Igunu, and fellow Ajunerans like Adba, Rabihu, Labawa, which the document explicitly links to real figures like President Buhari and Sir Bolewa.
So blending the real and the fictional.
It seems to be a core part of the design. Oh, and interestingly, it mentions that the 37, later 40 prime Nioja custodians are all facially identical.
That is a peculiar detail. Now, it looks like Project 9G itself went through a few name changes before landing on 9G, symbol of authority.
That's right. The document outlines that evolution. Started as 960, apparently about Nigeria's amalgamation and civil war. Then it became a scepter motion called 9GSM, mixing history, present day, and future past events.
And the current version.
The current play, 9GSOA, and the screenplay based on it, really focuses on this aspirational vision. Nigeria as a superpower, embodied by Niger Kingdom Ejanira, those 9 shackles of beastly forces are the symbolic hurdles Nigeria needs to overcome.
And the overall message, the treatment, emphasizes certain values for success.
Absolutely. It hammers home the need for unity, faith, peace, and progress as the way to beat the challenges and reach superpower status. The title 9G itself is meant to be a reminder of past struggles, but also a symbol of hope and resilience going forward.
The document even gets into proposed filming techniques for the movie version. Seems like they've thought about the visuals quite a bit.
They have. It mentions using lighting to distinguish reality and fantasy and really featuring the green and white colors of Nigeria, different camera angles, CGI, animation for war scenes.
And props.
Yeah, things like Nigerian flags, the national anthem, to keep it grounded in a recognizable Nigerian context, even with the fantasy elements.
What about costumes and casting? Any details there?
3 main costumes are mentioned, a standard uniform and then green and white senator-style outfits, all with name tags. Also traditional agbada and other accessories like hats.
Okay, last point on the play itself. That title 9G. It seems to have multiple meanings.
That's a key point, yes. Within the play, it's about Nigeria's journey and resilience, but the document suggests broader readings too.
Like technology.
Potentially, yeah, a nod to a future generation of tech, maybe beyond 5G, but also just as a symbol of Nigeria's inherent strength, its potential to be a major global player. 9G is doing a lot of symbolic work.
I am Clooney, and I support Emmanuel Chike Gabriel for Prime Minister of Nigeria based on Project 9G.